they get a lot more than the NBA players from 1970s. They didn't have the social media exposure. They
That's
didn't have the ability to build personal brands. They have other opportunities.
much more indeed. But guys, let me go back to, of course, the topic at hand, which is the WNBA. The numbers speak for themselves. The WNBA, that is an article for 2021. I hope Luke has done his research correctly. Otherwise, we will come back to you, Luke, and roast you. Um, but that in terms of raw numbers, it says the following: the WNBA generates roughly 60,000. Sorry, six,
Come
60
on, man.
million.
Come on, man.
No, they're not. They're not. It's not 1946. 60 million in revenue every season. That may sound a lot, but when matched up against the 70 million in league costs to run, it loses roughly 10 million each passing season. I have another article which discusses this a bit more in depth. Let me see if I can find it real quick. In which they say that the WNBA has never profited in the since 1997, which means that it basically on average it has been losing 10 million a year over all those years.
And when was it? When was the league created?
The first season was the league was created in 96 and 97 was the first season.
Wait a minute. So it's never profited?
Let me show you the article.
No.
Let me show you the article. Let me show you the article. So this is an article from sportskida.com. Is WNBA profitable in 2023? Examining how the league has been performing financially over the years. Then I go to the part. Over the next 25 years, the league has seen minimal growth. Despite countless talented women coming about during its time, it just can't seem to get off the ground. Since there has been a minimal growth since the birth, many wonder if the league brings any money. The answer is to this question is no. Back in 2018, current NBA Commissioner Adam Silver spoke on the league's financial outlook. He cited that the WNBA has never once turned a profit. The league loses roughly 10 million a year and lost close to 12 million in 2017. While things might look bleak, the league is slowly making strides. Viewership is trending in the right direction, and they recently landed as we said before, the 75 million in investment. So they have never profited. So they've been running almost 27 years on investment.
Charity. Well,
Wow.
let me put it and then say that the valuation is 1 billion.
Yeah.
So one of the issues I think, or at least one of the reasons why I think that perhaps the growth strategy is not the best one, is that the company has been losing roughly 10 million every season. Usually, let's say if this was any other kind of company, they would have pulled the plug years ago.
15 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Wait a second. No, 10 years after founding the company. I'm not, my bad. Not 20 years, not at year 17. At year 10, they would have pulled the plug
I
probably.
think, yeah. If any other business, probably earlier. Because what is the game plan here? I think the problem, or at least the challenge, is that you come in as a WNBA player, you're a professional, you play, you practice probably as much as often and probably as hard as the your male counterparts, and you get the jerseys, almost the same kind of jerseys. The teams are off. I think there's a they link the WNBA team with a. I don't know if they do it with every single one, but I do know that some of them, if not the majority of the teams, are linked to a NBA team
NBA team.
in one way, shape, or form. I
There are
think so.
only there are only 12, so I think there are some missing. I think there's 26 NBA teams from the top of my head, something like
30,
that.
30.
30, and only 12 WNBA. So
Yeah. Yeah. So they are probably comparing, but let's talk business again. This has nothing to do with man, woman. This has everything to do with business. If I am a carpenter and I decide to start my own business, I cannot look at my competitor, which is perhaps a lumber company that has multiple companies in the supply chain. Maybe they have the real estate that where the trees are grown, and they have the fabric that where the wood is processed, and that all these things until they sell it to consumers. So, and they've built it for perhaps 60 years. I cannot look at the I am the director, the CEO of my one man show. I cannot look at the CEO of that company, that group that is probably spread all across the country, and claim the same salary. Because, first of all, I don't have the money to pay it. And secondly, even if I did, I'd be better off using that money to invest in the growth of the of
the
my
league,
company.
the
No,
company, yeah,
of my company.
company, yeah.
I would want perhaps to get an employee, get a second employee, fade myself out of my company, earn profit. With the profit, perhaps I will buy better machines, whatever the case may be. But and then maybe in 50, 60 years, and maybe I can reach it in 50 years, just like the other counterpart. Maybe I can reach it in 20, but maybe I will reach it. Maybe I won't reach it. Maybe the company will reach it in 100 years, but I will not be alive to witness it. But whatever the case may be, it's very bad to compare. And if you compare and you want what the other people in the other league, where there is money, because there's a better product, and I'm not saying it's better, the consumers are saying it's better, and you can see it by the way the WNBA is consumed, then you cannot require the same things. It's simply not right. It's simply not reasonable. I believe that the WNBA players now have more, maybe not in financials, but I think in they get a lot more than the NBA players from 1970s. They didn't have the social media exposure. They
That's
didn't have the ability to build personal brands. They have other opportunities.
much more indeed. The game was different back then as well. I mean, there are more. You can make if you're smart. Look at, for example, the college basketball player that got, I think, from LSU. Can't remember her name right now, but she got like 1 million in endorsements. That's what I heard, at least.
Is that the
But
latest one? Angel Reese?
yeah, Angel Reese. Yeah, I think that's her name. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mayors. Yes, I mean, of course, with the new changes in the college sports, they can receive those endorsements.
Yeah.
But I think those endorsements will continue.